All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So this is going to be a really quick video, but I think it's going to be a really important one, all right? This really is why I don't hold into earnings, all right? It's just such a I don't know how to explain the gamble other than what we're looking at here, okay? So again, I'll give you some technical thoughts, don't get me wrong, but end of the day, the emphasis really is off of yesterday's video and coming into today's reality. All right, so I don't think we're actually going to do what we normally do. Like, I'm really not going to talk much about the daily or the weekly. I'm actually not going to talk much about the moving averages. We're just going to kind of talk it out real quick. And I actually think I'm going to look at some smaller time frames more than I normally do on my regular videos. Hey, real quick though, if you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, do all that sort of stuff. It would be much appreciated. But one more time, this is less of my normal video and more I hope you learn from this, okay? Because again, this has nothing to do with SoFi specifically. This, for real, is how I trade every single stock going into earnings, all right? So if you didn't watch yesterday's video, one of the biggest things I said was, look, this is some fantastic technical setup, all right? Like, you're over all five moving averages the day before. This thing literally destroys four moving averages, and then not a fantastic confirmation by any means. Like, I obviously wish the candle was just a little more full than this like long wick down, but that's a good candle. It actually goes very much above. We're not even talking about, hey, did we hold 50%, or like we just shoot all the way up in the start and actually go higher to the end, right? Like, that's fantastic. If you look at the box over here on this day, you'll see MACD is actually in the positive. It's 0.02, and obviously that's higher than the red line. RSI is 60. That's higher than the red 50 line. So both, and you can physically see them as you look back, right? Green over red, and look at volume. Volume was 55 million on an average of 28, almost double the 50, like every single thing. This was good, this was good, this was good, this was good. All four of the things that we look at were good. All right. How did this happen? It's because of earnings. And what did I say? I said we were either going to come all the way up to this line or come all the way down to this line. And that was sitting here yesterday, right? Like, and again, like, look, nothing's guaranteed. I'm not here trying to like prove to you I'm some sort of like stock genius, or like, I don't want you to like see this video and be like, holy shit, he got this right, that means he's gonna get everything else right? Like, that's not the game I'm playing here. I'm really, I swear, I'm not trying to like give you some like false expectations of what I'm gonna do for you, right, in terms of your trading things. But what I do know is this: earnings do two things. Number one, they make technicals completely irrelevant. They really do. All right. Like, I don't care, and I didn't care that everything was fantastic here. Earnings are either going to give you a crazy multiple up, or probably nearly a 20-25% down. I genuinely believe the up could be as high as like 60-ish. I do genuinely believe the down is around that 25% number. So up is generally better than down for sure. And that's actually why it was easier for me to, skip this line and say, actually, it's going to come to here, or genuinely know if it doesn't look like we're coming here, we're for sure going down. Like, I was very adamant in my opinion there, right? And you can clearly see what it was. And look, let's take a look at the minute. All right, we're gonna zoom out. So this is the start of the day right here, all right? And what really sucked is how high we gapped up. We actually gapped to my line right here. Again, I was very specific about skipping this one. I literally said 740 or 540, right? Like, I intentionally skipped this 650 line because, really, again, sorry, but I'm gonna go back to like, this was such a good technical setup. It made sense that 650 like would hit if even if it was literally just an average, average call. I genuinely believe 650 was the technical move based on the nice stuff, the nice setup that we saw, right? That said, when on the single minute, the like, once the following minutes started to dive, I mean, it like it's easy to like see it in hindsight, right? But I'm telling you, like that's way too devastating too early. You know what I mean? And obviously it actually didn't even stop. This wasn't even the worst of it, right? But when you see something like that, so and then especially look, like that's where all the moving averages were, right? Like once that cluster was gone, Jesus, right? It's like being on the daily charts. Like you don't want to be under this. And yeah, there was a little bit of a recovery. I remember seeing the recovery and kind of hoping, because look, I didn't look at the earnings. You know me, right? Like I'm not here to care about the news, right? I just care what the lines do. And what am I looking at this point? I mean, at this point, we're under all the moving averages, right? Unless we bounce back to 580 tomorrow, like we're heading down. Like there's no other way of saying it, right? Maybe $5 will hold it. I'm not going to draw a new line though. I'm going to keep 744 right here, and my expectations really are 744 because that's ugly. That's now back into the negative, right? Like we've lost every single moving average on a really dominant candle. The bad thing would be if it actually confirms poorly, right? So end of the day though, the moral really is like I said, look, I flashed FRC, right? Like beautiful setup. I traded that day and then I sold because again, like if the earnings were good, and let's go back, sorry, shit. Let's go back into SoFi. All right. Let's go back into this right here. If the earnings were great, and again, I'm not like, look, I say this with all due respect. I almost don't want anyone's opinion about the earnings because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to share what we think about earnings. Like for real, we're here for like short-term movements. That's why you're watching my videos, right? And again, what you and me think about the earnings is completely irrelevant. It's what does the market think of it, you know? And I don't know if it was because like FRC basically went under and is gonna, like, I don't know if we're gonna tie other banks to this thing or not. Nonetheless, like that's a bad daily chart. But my moral of the story really was, if I didn't hold, which I didn't, and I saw this thing go up in the first few minutes, this whole thing would have been completely opposite, right? Like there would have been plenty of time to jump in and ride the up train instead of holding overnight, holding over the weekend, and dropping this much, right? So I know a lot of people are long on SoFi, and I'm not here to tell you not to be long and stuff like that. And look, this is a horizontal cluster, so yeah, we very easily can come back into it and stay on it. The worst thing would really be an HUSA situation, right, where all you end up doing is kind of staying on it, prolong, and then it eventually drops, right? So I hate this, let alone drop, right? But if I'm gonna keep my money horizontal, shit, I'll throw it in the bank and not have to like sweat when I wake up every morning. You know what I mean? So holding into earnings, this is what happens. This is why I'm real adamant about just it's not worth the gamble. So hey, live and learn. All right, let me know if you disagree with anything. Otherwise, I appreciate your time.